the final goodbye to a beloved firefighter. Fox 61 will stand behind and stand beside the friends, family, and the colleagues of Robert Sharkovich Sr. as he's laid to rest today.
In just a few moments, his funeral procession will begin. We'll have live coverage on his final ride from Wethersfield to Hartford.
Also, we are still in a state of emergency as crews continue to battle the Hawthorne brush fire in Berlin, the fire that Sharkovich died while helping to fight. We'll tell you what officials say we can do to prevent the flames from spreading.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And a good morning to you. You're watching Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus here at 10 o'clock. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Symphony Privet. Let's get you straight over to meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli as she gives us a quick update on what's on tap for this Monday morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. We have more clouds out there this morning, but expect intervals of clouds and sun, so you will need the sunglasses later on today with temperatures that are starting off in the 40s. Earlier, if you were joining us at 4 and 5 o'clock, we had some patchy frost with temperatures down into the lower 30s in some locations. Live look outside over in New Haven now with temperatures around 51 degrees, and our winds are out of the north to northeast around 8 miles per hour. In Hartford right now, we have a bit more in the way of cloud coverage. We're at 43 there. So dressing for the 40s now, but into the middle 50s later on today around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon with intervals of clouds and sun. We're not expecting a lot in the way of wind today, but it does turn breezy for tomorrow. So for today, here's a look at our highs: 59 in Hamden, 58 in Hartford later on today. In southeastern Connecticut, Mystic, Stonington into the mid 50s. After that, we are going to see this warming trend. So for tomorrow, temperatures will be close to 60 degrees again, more clouds around, but approaching warm front comes through Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's going to bring us the clouds, and there's also a chance for maybe a shower or two late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, the sun comes out, temperatures are in the mid 70s, and we even get warmer from there. Temperatures for our Halloween near 80 degrees. We'll have more details on that coming up.
A fallen Wethersfield firefighter Robert Sharkovich Sr. will be laid to rest today. He died last week while responding to that huge brush fire in Berlin.
Yeah, we have live team coverage this morning as the community comes together to honor the longtime firefighter. The funeral procession is about to begin from Wethersfield to Hartford. Let's go there now. Checking in with Fox 61's Kaylee Collins outside the Farley Sullivan Funeral Home. Good morning, Kaylee.
Good morning, Symphony and Tim. Yeah, this is a live look at what we're seeing here on Beaver Street. This is where the Farley Sullivan Funeral Home is located. There is a police motorcade lined up here, dozens of police officers standing by, waiting for this procession to begin. This is where Sharkovich will be escorted over to the Cathedral of St. Joseph's in Hartford momentarily. That's where a massive Christian burial is set to take place in just about an hour from now. You can see here just a massive first responder presence, a testament to just how many lives were touched by Robert Sharkovich Sr., also affectionately known as Sharky. As we know, he laid down his life while responding to the ongoing Hawthorne fire. He was involved in a UTV accident on Lamentation Mountain, and he dedicated his life to his service as a firefighter, having spent decades as a firefighter with the Hartford Fire Department and also as a volunteer firefighter with Wethersfield. So you can just see how many lives he's touched. Also fitting on National First Responder Day, you can see it was so many people that knew him personally, his loved ones, his family and friends, but also many who did not, who just shared that brotherhood, that sisterhood of knowing what it's like to go into that first call, respond to that call, not knowing what is going to be before you. Everybody who has known Sharkovich describes him as a loving family man. He was a beloved father, grandfather, friend, uncle. Had a great sense of humor, loved to help others. He was also involved as a carpenter and maintenance worker over in the Wethersfield School Department, public schools rather, and Wethersfield Public Schools will remain closed as the funeral services take place today. So again, this is just a look at what we're seeing, waiting for that procession to begin. It will depart here from Beaver Street and then head over to Route 15 North, connect to 91 North, then connect to 84, where it will end on Farmington Avenue in Hartford at the Cathedral of St. Joseph. So just a somber day. Again, waiting here for that procession to get started. We can see some buses lined up in front of the funeral home as well that will be taking some fellow firefighters along for this procession ride. Lining the street here again is those police vehicles, those motorcycles, dozens that we're seeing. We did see family members lining the funeral home earlier, probably about the past hour now, as they get ready to begin this procession. Across from Beaver Street, we can see some people standing by to just take it all in and to observe the procession as it gets going, showing their respects. Just a kind of somber scene that we're looking at right now. We see.
Okay, Kaylee, thank you so much. Yeah, once again, we're not at all surprised to see just police motorcycles, state police, Wethersfield police, as far as the eye can see, along with those American flags, and how it just makes it extra terrible but extra poignant that this is National First Responder Day. And here are all these first responders. And something we see, again, it is first responders coming out for first responders. It's not just police honoring fellow police officers when they die in the line of duty, or firefighters only honoring firefighters. They all come out for one another. They are all a brotherhood and a sisterhood. Now, again, Kaylee is in Wethersfield outside the Farley Sullivan Funeral Home. That procession is going to make its way first after leaving that area up the Silas Deane Highway so they can get to I-91 and make their way towards Hartford. For now, let's get over to Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro. He is live on the procession route on the Silas Deane Highway. Angelo, good morning.
Tim, good morning. We're about a half mile away from that funeral home. This is Hillcrest Avenue, and to echo what you were saying, lines of support all over the place here. First responders supporting first responders. If you spin around here, you can see those fire trucks starting to line the road, and minute by minute, more people are filling these sidewalks as well. We have neighbors out here supporting first responders, supporting this family. It is a very poignant scene as we wait for this procession to pass us. And lining the streets are neighbors who knew this family. They want to come out, show their support. That is the case right here, the Wethersfield High School soccer team. These guys coming out, supporting this family, showing their love. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. Luke, thank you so much for being here. You guys have a personal connection to this family. Tell us about that.
Both boys play on the soccer team here, I think it's just really good for us to get out here and show support to them and also the family.
And as we remember Robert, what do you want people at home to know about who Sharky was, what his family is all about, the values he instilled in his family?
That whole family is just about kind of having fun. Both boys have always been really fun to be around, and their dad gives off the same energy that the boys do.
And how can people at home watching this right now show their support, maybe something little every day that you saw in the family they can do to honor the legacy of who Sharky was?
Just keep him in your thoughts. Just remember him always. Just don't be sad. Just remember he was so great.
And coming out here today, seeing all the support flooding the streets around here, what does it mean to this community?
I think it's really cool. Seeing the flags back there lining the streets by where the wake was yesterday was just really cool to see.
Does anybody else want to speak to his legacy, Oliver?
Yeah, it's a massive loss for our community. He was a great man and died in service to everyone here. And I think if we just remember what he was about and his values, it's just his legacy will live on. And I think that's really important for our community.
And that's something you read about, and people commenting on social media, speak with people around here, what a staple he was in this community. Is that what you remember him as?
Yeah, just a good man. And you see it in his sons. They're both great kids, honest, hardworking. They're wonderful to be around, and you definitely see a lot of him come out in them, and I think that's his legacy continues through them.
And the same question that I asked Luke, how can people just every day go about their lives and remember him or honor him in some way?
Yeah, I think just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Just keep remembering him. Try to replicate his example, because he was a really great example for all of us, I think.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate the time. Thank you. And that is the level of love and support that is lining these streets right now. People coming out, neighbors coming out, fire departments coming out. These streets are starting to fill up. Still waiting on that procession to pass us. Of course, as that happens, we'll check back in. But for now, I'll send things back to you in the studio.
Alrighty, thank you, Angelo. And I'm sure, as you can imagine, this has just been an incredibly difficult time for the Sharkovich family. Robert Sharkovich Sr. has 4 children, including his daughter, Christy, his twin sons, Camden and Caden, and his son, Robert Sharkovich Jr. And it's just great to see those young men also just trying to be supportive, to that family in this difficult time. We are going to continue our coverage this morning, checking in with Fox 61's Alexa Farrell. She is also along the Silas Deane Highway this morning. Good morning, Alexa.
Good morning. Yes, we are along the Silas Deane Highway. Let me give you a look at what we're seeing right now. There is a show of American flags up and down the entire highway, and we've seen many people as we're driving through, many different fire departments to police departments out here. You can see this show of support, and what even more so is out here is the community. They are out here and they are showing their love to the Sharkovich family. You can see along here we have many people, many students, and Wethersfield schools are off today. We're going to go over and talk to some of the kids that we were speaking with just a moment ago. Lindsay, this is one of the moms that is out here with her children, and you were telling me before that this is not just a day off from school for the kids, and you want them to know that. So tell me what that means to you and what you explained to them.
We just want the kids to know that someone sacrificed their life, and they need to know that, like you said, it's not a day off of school. It's something much more than that.
And you have a special connection to the fire department here in Connecticut. Tell me about that.
I have 2 brothers that are New Haven Fire and Bridgeport Fire, and my father is Newington Fire as well.
And you have a flag here that the kids are going to hold.
Yeah, we have the fire flag.
Will you show us what that looks like, you guys? And will you tell me, what does it mean to be out here today? What are you guys doing out here?
So we're just celebrating how he died, but it's not a good thing. So we're just trying to make his day lifted, because it's not about just skipping school. It's about celebrating it.
And you told me you have family members that are in the fire department. Tell me about your family.
They love being firemen, and they love doing their job, and they like saving other people's lives, and yeah.
Can you guys show me how you're going to have the flag when the procession goes by? Awesome. So as you can see, Wethersfield schools are off today, but this is not a day wasted. This is a day for the children to learn about the sacrifices that so many community members make to keep others safe within the community. So a beautiful show of support here. We've talked to many people along the route here who are just showing their support for the Sharkovich family and saying thank you to the first responders, especially Sharkovich, who lost his life battling the Hawthorne fire. I'll send it back to you guys in studio for now. Alexa Farrell, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Alexa, thank you. Yeah, you could see there that little boy's hat and that flag, the thin red line flag, which is sort of the firefighters' version of the thin blue line flag that you see a lot of police officers fly. It's meant to symbolize the thin line between order and chaos for police officers, and for firefighters, of course, that thin line between life and death when you're running into a burning building, which, by the way, is something Robert Sharkovich Sr. has done before. In fact, he was honored for that, one of 5 people honored last year for being able to go into an active house fire and taking somebody who they said was non-ambulatory, meaning that person could not get out of the house on their own, and Sharkovich and others, members of the police department and fire department, got that person out alive. So absolutely, he has been a lifesaver.
For sure, and a lot of people who have worked with him all say he always had a great attitude.
Yep.
And he was a great mentor. We are going to check in with Fox 61's Jimmy Altman now. Jimmy, where are you?
So Symphony, we are in front of the Cathedral of St. Joseph's here on Farmington Avenue. You can see over my left shoulder, it is a force on Farmington Avenue. So many firefighters from all across the state, and for that matter, all across the region, showing up to support Robert Sharkovich Sr., the man known as Sharky. It is a profound setting on the streets here. It's really heartwarming, heartbreaking, yes, but heartwarming to see the support behind us. I want to show you that we just got a hold of this. This is the program that will be given to everybody inside the cathedral today. So everybody is going to get one of these. I want to call in right now two of Sharky's colleagues from decades over the years. John Mudry, come on in. John spent 31 years, he's retired now, 31 years with the Hartford Fire Department. And Chief Kyle Krupa, come on in. You can come to this side here, Chief. John, we'll start with you. You spent decades working with Robert Sharkovich. What kind of a guy was he to work with?
He was a fireman's fireman. Gung-ho, loved the job. Very sincere and loving on and off the job. Loved to get in that fire, come out dirty with a smile on his face because he loved it so much.
Can you show us the artwork you've brought along today? People are signing the back of it too. Talk about that?
Yeah, this is in memory of Sharky going to God's hands in heaven, died in line of duty. The poster also illustrates other firefighters that have died in the past, FDNY, Worcester, Mass., other communities.
All events that you've supported over the years, John. You told me you've been to a number of these, sadly, over the years.
Yes, with Sharky and with Kyle Krupa, of course. Attended many of them, and very sad, but it's a thing you do with honor to recognize the fallen.
Absolutely. Chief Krupa, what does this day mean to you, and what did Robert Sharkovich Sr. mean to the city of Hartford and Wethersfield for that matter?
Yeah, Shark was he's a true American hero, that's for sure. He gave everything. He gave his life for the the community of Wethersfield, and he did 25 years here in Hartford, and he gave his best for the city of Hartford. He came to work every day. He was sharp, witty. He was a tough firefighter. He knew how to bust chops. He was just a great guy. I mean, that's,
It's like John said, Chief. Is it fair to say a firefighter's firefighter?
That's true. John gave the correct words. Like I said, he loved this job, and once he retired, he loved it over in Wethersfield. He just loved it, and he continued on, and he served. And it just goes to show you never know, when your life is going to end when you walk out that door and you serve that community. But he gave everything to Hartford and Wethersfield, that's for sure.
You must be very proud as you look behind us here to see the show of force.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood. It's when someone passes away like this, it's a tragedy, and it just shows the support and love that the fire service has, whether you're a paid professional or a volunteer firefighter.
Chief Kyle, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
John, thanks for everything. Thanks for everything you do for us here in Hartford as well. Guys, we'll have more from out here on Farmington Avenue in front of the cathedral, but for now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. And as once again, we look at live outside the Farley Sullivan Funeral Home in Wethersfield, where we are waiting for this procession to start, scheduled to start at 10 o'clock. But of course, I'm going to get everybody in place. It starts when it starts, and the funeral, which was scheduled to start at 11, may still happen at 11. We're not sure exactly how long it is going to take for this procession to make it the about 6.5 to 7.5 miles from Wethersfield up the Silas Deane to I-91, then to I-84, and then to Farmington Avenue. So while we wait, we are already starting to see a common theme in talking about the man that they called Sharky. First of all, sense of humor, right? We heard Hartford Fire Chief Kyle Krupa say he liked to bust chops. We've heard Captain Den Bresnahan earlier this morning say that he was a prankster. We're hearing this a lot. A good guy, good jokes, sense of humor. While I don't know a lot of firefighters, I get the impression that's one of the very important qualities for a firefighter to have, because there's a lot of downtime. Right. You need to love your job. You need to love your coworkers. And of course, remember, you love your job. A lot of these people, it's volunteer basis, right? And he had spent 47 years between Hartford and Wethersfield as a firefighter. So you need to find a way to pass those slow times. Humor is a great way to do it. Another way to do it is cooking. And we have heard from especially Captain Dan Bresnahan that Sharky was a great cook, because you got to cook well, you got to cook hearty meals, you got to cook a lot of it.
Feed all those folks, at the firehouse.
Absolutely. And that is, on a terrible day like this, it's just one of the things we love to hear when you talk to people who knew Sharky, when you talk to people who knew these people who have given their lives, you get to find out just a little bit of a piece of what they were, who they were, and what they were like, just to sort of round out the picture of the sacrifice that's being made. And so that's just something that's already become apparent, Symphony, to me in the first 20 minutes here.
Right. And to the community, of course, people knew him as a firefighter, but everything we've been hearing from people we've spoken to described him as more so of a brother, someone they were really close to, a great mentor, and people from the Wethersfield Fire Department say, things will just not be the same without him there.
I know, and we'll get more into Wethersfield's history with firefighters who have died in the line of duty. But for now, we want to get over to Fox 61's Matt Caron. He is also live outside the Cathedral on Farmington Avenue there in Hartford. Matt, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. I was hearing you describe some of the things that people said about Sharky, and one of those things I heard from the former mayor of Wethersfield last night. He said that Sharky was just the type of guy that you would want to have a beer with. So just a real common man, the type of person who would give you the shirt off of his back. Right now, we are live outside of St. Joseph's Cathedral here in Hartford on a crisp fall day, and I'll tell you, there is a sense of solemnity in the air. There's a sense of absence. There's a sense of mourning, all of the typical emotions that you would find on a day like today. Just a couple of moments ago behind us, there were charter buses that had pulled up and were dropping off firefighters from all across New England, all different states. Everyone is here to represent. Today is a perfect example of that thin red line that everyone keeps talking about, just getting a little bit thicker. I want to just step out of the way so you can see what's going on behind us here. There's a massive American flag that is just draped outside of the cathedral this morning. A show of the red, white, and blue, service to his country, service to his community. That's what Robert Sharkovich, after all, was all about. There are fire trucks here, and by the way, that flag is hanging from two different ladders on two different Hartford fire trucks. Hartford, of course, the department that he worked for 25 years before becoming a volunteer in Wethersfield for the next 22 years. He was a carpenter at the public schools. He was 66 years old and, of course, died in the line of duty fighting that Hawthorne brush fire on Lamentation Mountain in Berlin, the tragic accident. So many of his brothers and sisters coming out and saying how great of a person he was. And of course, it really is a brotherhood, a sisterhood. When you go into the fire department, they spend so much time together, an extension of the family, quite literally. And of course, speaking of family, Sharky was also a husband. He was a devoted father, a grandfather. Many different people will miss him, but certainly will clutch those wonderful memories that they have of him very close to their hearts, a heart that on this day is indeed grieving and is indeed mourning. In fact, Sharky was honored just 2 Sundays ago. Think about that. This man was honored for his service to the Wethersfield Fire Department for 20 years of service. He received a helmet, a special helmet with the number 3, Fire Company 3, which is where he worked in Wethersfield. So we will continue to monitor the situation here outside the cathedral on what is a somber somber and solemn day as we get ready for a service at 11 a.m. For now, though, back to you.
All right, now we are taking a live look at the procession route here as we are seeing a large group of first responders out there, not only from local fire departments, but also other areas. We also have police here. We see Wethersfield police, state troopers on the scene, and it looks like those police there are starting to get on their bikes. So perhaps this procession will begin momentarily. It was set to kick off at 10 o'clock this morning, and we've had Fox 61's Kaylee Collins out there since earlier this morning, just taking a look at the growing crowd of supporters out to remember the life and legacy of Robert Sharkovich Sr.
Sharkovich is, from what we can gather from the State Fallen Firefighters Memorial, the third Wethersfield firefighter to die in the line of duty and the first in a little over 55 years. A firefighter named Michael Mealy was killed on March 10th, 1969 after being hit and killed by a car. Before him, it was a firefighter, J. Stanley Wells, was killed all the way back on January 20th of 1928. He was also hit and killed by a car. So they are now, along with Sharky, the only three people in the history of the town of Wethersfield to be killed in the line of duty. And of course, as we were saying, he just got honored for 20 years with the Wethersfield Fire Department. Sharkovich had 22 years of service with the Wethersfield Fire Department. That's on top of 25 years of service before that with the Hartford Fire Department. So a grand total of 47 years of service. And of course, we mentioned Hartford. I'm guessing a lot of you who have been watching us for years might remember and might have trouble believing that it was a decade ago that we ran through all of these funerals and processions for a Hartford firefighter named Kevin Bell. He died at the age of 48 while fighting a house fire on October 7th, 2014 on Blue Hills Avenue when his self-contained breathing apparatus ran out of breathable gas. He essentially ran out of air. Another firefighter was badly burned on that. And it's just giving us sort of flashbacks. By no means was Bell the last Connecticut firefighter to die in the line of duty or to die. Just last year, 3 or 4 more names were added to the Firefighters Memorial, which is up in Windsor Locks at the Connecticut Fire Academy. But now there are over 350 names on that memorial, and in time, Sharkovich's name will be added to them, as well it should, of course.
All right, now we're going to check back in with Fox 61's Alexa Farrell. She is joining us this morning along the Silas Deane Highway, where this morning she's already spoken to a group of young men, young boys who are here, who have family members who are also first responders, and they are learning today from other folks around them how to support those who are first responders during this tough time. Alexa.
Yeah, Symphony, Tim, we're along the route, and there are so many students from Wethersfield Public Schools that are here learning about the importance of the day. We're actually right outside the Wethersfield Middle School here, and the public schools has a black bunting on front of their van right here. So an important reminder of why we are out here today. We're going to go over and talk to another family that we spoke with. You can see these kids are so cute in their fire department uniforms here. So this is Dad. So tell me why you brought the kids out here this morning.
Just respect for Robbie and his family and all the first responders and around the community.
And you said you have a connection within the family to Robbie?
Yes, my wife volunteered with him for many years with the Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department.
And what are you hoping that the kids take away from this today?
Just respect for the services that they all do, and never knowing if they won't come home.
All right, we're going to go over and talk to these guys. Hi, guys. How are you this morning?
Good.
Good. Why is it important for you to be out here today?
Because the firefighter died, and it's only a couple hours of our lives, and that's the least we can do to honor him.
And tell me, what do you have on? What are you wearing?
This is my mom's firefighter helmet, and she stopped being a firefighter. How long ago? I don't know.
Like when she had us about?
Yeah.
But does she still give back to the community and do good things for everyone?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a paramedic right now, and my dad's a nurse, so they still help out the community a lot.
And when the procession goes by, what are you guys gonna do?
Salute them and wave our flags.
And today's a day off from school for you, right? But it's more than that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just we get off from school to have a fun time. We're off from school to honor and spend time like here to honor the firefighter.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. So as you can see, it's a learning day. They're not in the classroom today, but they're learning about the importance of community, the importance of those that give back to our community. And clearly in this home, there are many people that are giving back. We have a nurse, we have a paramedic, but it's so important for these kids to be out here today. And that's what these parents are instilling in them. So we'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Alexa Farrell, Fox 6.
Well, Alexa, sorry we got you cut off there. But yeah, what Alexa was just saying, also not the first time we've heard that. I think Angelo Bavaro was talking to a mother who said the same thing. I know Wethersfield schools are out for the day. This is not a day off from learning. This is a very important lesson that a lot of these kids are learning. And if they haven't seen something like this before, there's a lot to be taken from it, not the least of which is not just honoring somebody for their sacrifice, but showing them the beauty of communities coming together. This is something, you know, it happens all over the country, but we do a great job of this in Connecticut, coming together. It's not 169 cities and towns when a firefighter or a police officer dies in the line of duty. It becomes one state gathering around that family.
And his community friends and family, former colleagues all gathered today to remember the life and legacy of fallen firefighter Robert Sharkovich Sr. Our coverage continues right after this.
We're a really busy family of 6 and moving into a new house, and Empire made it really easy.
They brought samples to our house, quality products, and installation on our schedule.
And we're really happy with everything.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Hey guys! We brought a truckload of magic. What would you like to make disappear?
All that stuff out there.
When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point. Bye.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
When your child has moderate to severe eczema, it's okay for them to show off. Show off their clearer skin and noticeably less itch with Dupixent. Because children 6 months and older with eczema have plenty of reasons to show off their skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, they can stay ahead of their eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
And bang.
They're demanding every penny.
We're not paying.
Accident was our fault.
We need more profit, understand?
It's the law offices of Marquis, Solomon, and Morelli. They said if we don't pay, they'll be going after at least triple.
I hate those guys.
Get the Solomon and Morelli advantage. Call 1-800-WIN-WIN-1 right now.
Are you sure? You tend to exaggerate.
Go ahead. Call him yourself.
Thank you for calling Aetna. How can I help you?
Do you really have Medicare plans that cover dental, vision, and hearing?
Yes, all 3. Plus, we have plans that include a monthly allowance for certain over-the-counter products.
Really?
That's right. Aetna also has Medicare Advantage plans with a $0 monthly plan premium.
Oh, I like that.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-AETNA-23 to find an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan that meets your unique needs.
Start your day with Fox 61, the only station that stays local all morning long.
(10:34). If you're just joining us this morning, we are taking a live look at the start of where the procession is scheduled to start for fallen firefighter Robert Sharkovich Sr. If you recall, he died Tuesday when a utility task vehicle he was riding on rolled over on a trail, and today we've seen several first responders, so not just the Wethersfield Fire Department, but members of different police, fire, and other first responders coming up here to support the family and the Wethersfield Fire Department at this time.
Yes. Now, the procession to the funeral home, to the cathedral on Farmington Avenue in Hartford, the Cathedral of St. Joseph, that was scheduled to start at 10 o'clock. Of course, there's no rush here. It happens when it happens, so thank you for staying with us. As we're looking at pictures of Sharkovich, here's some of the family he's leaving behind. First of all, our condolences go out to his mother, Sophia Sharkovich. Of course, the worst tragedy any human being can have is to lose a child. That is what has happened for her. His father has passed away previously, Edward Sharkovich. Our condolences to Sharky's wife, Joanne, his son, Robert Sharkovich Jr., and his wife, Christy. He's got a daughter also named Christy Sharkovich, and then twin sons, Camden and Caden Sharkovich. While we don't know for sure, we're assuming those were the two sons who played on the Wethersfield High School soccer team. We know that because Angelo Bavaro was speaking to some members of Wethersfield High School, some students who had used this day off from school to go out to the Silas Deane Highway and line the sides of that roadway so that they can pay their respects once the procession goes by. And we have heard just in the past few minutes that police have now closed down the Silas Deane Highway. So between that and seeing some of those police officers getting ready to get onto their motorcycles outside the Farley Sullivan Funeral Home, it looks like the procession should be starting sometime soon.
And the Sharkovich family, there's no stranger to the fire departments out in this area. We've learned that his brothers, Gary Sr. and Steve, served as Hartford firefighters for many years before they retired. Also, Robert's son, Robert Sharkovich Jr., and his nephew, Gary Sharkovich Jr., are also firefighters. So you can just imagine this loss is a great one, not only for the Hartford Fire Department and the Wethersfield Fire Department, but just this family who has a history in helping the community in this area.
Right. I mean, we talk about firefighters, police officers, dispatchers, and EMT as being a family. And in this case, not only is it metaphorically a family affair, this absolutely was a family affair. You just saw all the people that Symphony listed off that are direct relatives of Sharkovich who are now working either as firefighters or working in that department. As for what Rob Sharkovich did, according to the Hartford Firefighter Union statement, they said he served many years, not just as a dedicated city firefighter, but also many of them as the department's heavy rescue driver for Tactical Unit 1. And he was cited numerous times for his bravery and his heroism, in their words, saving many lives. And that was in Hartford. If you were with us, we also mentioned it was sometime last year that he was one of 5 first responders commended in Wethersfield for helping to save somebody from a house fire, somebody who was not able to get out on their own. He was one of the people who went into that burning house and got them out alive.
Yeah. And we caught up with Fox 61's Jimmy Altman not too long ago, who was speaking to some of his former colleagues from here in Hartford. They described Sharky, as he was called, as being a fireman's fireman.
Yeah.
He was a great guy to work with, sincere on and off the job. They say he was sharp, witty, and tough, and really just dedicated himself to his community.
Yep. And loved his job. And we were talking about some of the requirements for a good firefighter. And of course, we didn't mean it to be an exhaustive list because we left out the single most important component, bravery, right? Whenever we talk about, like down in New York City, they would often have charity sports events between the NYPD and the New York Fire Department, and they'd call it the finest versus the bravest. The police, of course, being the finest. And by no means are we saying police officers are not brave, but there's a reason why they called the fire department the bravest, because, well, a lot of calls are for people getting locked out of their houses or the literal cat stuck in a tree, which, hey, you still got to get up on a ladder and get them down. That's not without risk. There are times a firefighter knows they are going to have to go into what on earth is the closest equivalent to hell that you're going to get, a burning building, and try to get people out alive, knowing you might not come out. There's a reason why they call them the bravest. And he looked like, it certainly looks to us like he was somebody who was going to go headlong into any house fire he needed to go into to get somebody out alive. And as evidenced by the fact that that's exactly what he did last year.
Yeah, for sure. And he also worked as a carpenter for Wethersfield Schools for some years. And I'm reading one of our articles we have here where we spoke to a former colleague of his who says, you know, there wasn't anything that Sharkey couldn't do. He literally built his colleague's roof and deck.
Wow. Yeah, there you go.
Just giving in all kinds of ways.
Right. You had to think, if you spend your time working as and again, not as his vocation, but it's an avocation, being a carpenter for Wethersfield Public Schools, chances are you like doing carpentry in your spare time as well. Yeah. Building roofs, building decks, and probably saving his loved ones many, many thousands of dollars, too. Again, just starting to get a fuller picture of who he was, and by all accounts, just a great guy, a great family man, and part of a great firefighting tradition for the Sharkovich family and for Wethersfield as a whole. Now, again, we're waiting for that funeral procession to start, and we are just going to take a quick break, and we will come back in the next few minutes with a lot more as we are waiting for that funeral to start. Scheduled start time is 11. Looks like it'll probably be sometime after that, but stay with us. We will have full live coverage throughout.
Slow, clogged, backed up? Don't worry, ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO.
10 out of 10, I would recommend the Flood Law Firm.
I felt like I was treated like a person, and that made a big difference to me.
It was an absolute blessing that we found these people.
There was so much communication, felt like a team